Welcome to Undrafted Hockey Fan. I am Brad. Today we're talking about the Montreal Canadiens versus the Tampa Bay Lightning's playoff preview. This is the second year that Montreal's in the playoffs. Tampa Bay's been in it forever. Honestly, it's been crazy the way that they've just been able to sustain success. And to me, it's kind of crazy that these two teams are playing the first round. These are two teams that they're both finished the same amount of points, 106. And they should not be versing each other. These are two powerhouse teams. They finished third and fourth in the standings in the Eastern Conference. This is one where Montreal should be versing Boston, which would be phenomenal. And then Tampa Bay should be versing Senators, which would be another phenomenal one, just two forces crashing. But again, teams that didn't go as far. So it is what it is, and this is where we're at, So I'm going to start off with the Montreal Canadiens, who they used all their cap space, which I thought was great this season. So going on there to kind of see what they did to prepare for this season, moved off of Logan Mailloux for Zach Balduke. That was like a big trade that everyone was talking about at the start of the season. And he put up 30 points. It's fine, They moved off Carey Price's contract as well. But they also picked up Philip Deneau in December. So this is they've struggled with their center line. Their center depth. They have the Nick Suzuki's, the Alex Newhook, but he only played half the season. You have Oliver Kapanen, but he's still a rookie. So it's just one of those teams that you don't want to too much in the young guys or guys that maybe can't handle it. But that was their biggest one they did, moving out a second round pick, and that was just they didn't do anything at the trade deadline. And so if we look at the team, how well they perform. They have Nick Suzuki, who scored 101 points. He's the sixth Montreal Canadiens player to ever do it in their history, in their longest history, oldest team in the NHL. Cole Caulfield scored 51 goals. Finally scored that. I don't even think he scored 40 goals before that. If I remember correctly. I think that was one of those ones that he's like, oh, he's a 40 goal scorer. He had not. He scored 37 last year and blows by 40 and goes to 51. His shooting percentage got to be crazy. Like, it's got to be so stupid. They don't have it listed here. But yeah, again, even last year's playoffs, he had 4 points in 5 games, 3 of them goals. So this guy is he's electric. This is a guy that you got, like, he skipped over so many times because he's a smaller player, right? But high skill, right? He's still in the teens of the first round. But overall, like, this is a player that, like, again, 51 goals. Everyone takes that all day, and only at 7.8 million too, which is crazy. Oh, dude, Nick Suzuki hooked him up with that contract too. Everyone's following his lead. So you have Slafkovsky, who's really started to break out. This guy has 73 points in the last 81 games. Great season, 82 games. Even last season, he had only 51 points. He had 73. Again, this guy's really starting to. It was the first year of his 8-year contract. You have Alex Texier, Newhook, Demidov having a phenomenal rookie season, 62 points in 82 games. Like I said, Kapanen, 37 points in 82 games. Bolduc did well, 30 and 78. So again, young talent here. You're still looking for more out of, like I said, Alex Newhook, who did well. He was 25 points in 42 games, but again, he only played 42 games. The best ability is availability. So you need him to be there. And then Kirby Dach, who they try pushing at center, only 15 points in 37 games. So again, another injury-prone guy. So to me, this is and again, Philip Deneau, who they picked up, only 12 points in 45 games, but he's still he's a good veteran leader in this case, and they're gonna have him for this year and next year. He previously played with the Montreal Canadiens, so he's good to go back and everything. I think he's from there as well. So again, this is a team that it's young and it's exciting. So it's one of those where you're like, hey, like, what can they do? It's like, well, they could do anything. They could go to the Stanley Cup Finals. I think PK Subban, noted Montreal Canadiens lover, is all in on Canadiens. Again, a young team can go far, especially with like a goaltending or anything like that. Like, that's a fun team that you can go far with. So, and we'll jump over to the defense now. You have Mike Matheson, who's been working out really well with them. He's in the last year of his contract too. So 37 points, 78 games. He's 32, so he's getting on the other side of that, other side of 30, which is tough. But he's looking good. Carrier has been playing well. It's been a great trade for them. And of course, your number one star, your power play merchant, in a good way, right? 78 points for Lane Hudson. I've talked about him. I thought there's a little bit of arrogance maybe around him. Maybe it could be the Montreal Canadiens talking about him so much, or the fans talking about him. He signs an 8-year deal at 8.85. Still, it's still a steal if you're a guy that's almost a point per game defenseman. Improved on his numbers from last year as well. Just phenomenal, right? And then you also have your Jaden Struble as well, Arbor Jackeye. So Arbor Jackeye is known as a fighter. He's one of those guys that like is he high talent? Not really, 4.65 games. So, but he's a UFA. Like he was an undrafted player. He fights and he's 116 minutes point penalty minutes. I think he leads the team if I'm correctly looking at his. They're not showed on. Let's see where they at. They don't show penalty minutes on this page that I'm looking at. But either way, you have him, and then you also have his brother, Florian Jackeye, down in Laval, 29.63 games. So he might come up again. Having both those guys would be great because it's just there's so much dynamicism before like you need to bring some grit and toughness when it comes to the playoffs. And you have guys like that. Like you need the skills, you need the Suzuki's and the Caulfield, but like you need guys that can play tough minutes, right? And of course, you have Brendan Gallagher, of course, is going to play well. Ryan Barker's gotten some games. Noah Dobson's injured. That's one that's tough. It's whether he comes back or not. Hopefully he's available later in this round. Patrick Laine, of course, who hasn't played most of the year anyways. But I mean, those are some guys that you're like, okay, there's some talent here as well. And so you're hoping that you can get more out of these guys, and they're young. A lot of youth in this team. And we saw they played well last year, but Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki went to the Stanley Cup Finals with Montreal when they were versus Vegas. So there's some pedigree here. Again, you need these guys to really hit their full strides, and which it's just tough to ask for young players. So moving on to the goaltending, goaltending has been going well. You have Dobbs and Montembeault mostly did the year. However, Montembeault really his numbers really tanked, letting three and almost 3.5 goals a game in. Save percentage is AHL level. So they bring in their young Jacob Fowler, who was touted as one of the best goaltending prospects last year. Now played mostly in the AHL and then came up for 17 games this season. Put up really good numbers, 2.4 goals against game, good save percentage, 908. And of course, you have Jacob Dobbs. By the way, Fowler 21, Dobbs will be 25 in the next month or two. So these are nice young goaltenders, both putting up great numbers. This is youth. This is a team that it's okay if they don't go far this season. They have so many more years to go, and they have so many more guys coming on. Right, like they have Michael Hage. Where is he? Yeah, Michael Hage is coming up. He's at U of M, 52 points in 39 games. He might go back to U of M supposedly. That's a guy that you're like, oh wow, this guy can really put up some good points. I'm not going to go through all of them, but there are several that they're really excited about that they have down in the AHL and their prospects coming up. But again, this is a young team. It's exciting. It's terrifying because you're like, oh man, like what are they going to do? By the way, Dobbs had 16 goals saved above expected. Monster, dude. That is monster numbers. Good for them, dude. That is a good goaltender, which is again a staple in Montreal Canadiens history, having good goaltending. So, again, they look good. Again, it's a very exciting team. Montreal should be very excited. They should be very happy with what they have. The problem is they're coming up against a very veteran leadership team. Definitely an older team, but it has been their team. Looking at the Tampa Bay Lightning, I want to talk about some of the players they moved out and acquired. The big one was, of course, Corey Perry. They got Corey Perry for a second-round pick, and that was the big one that they just, hey, we're going to get a guy who's a veteran he's played with them before, and he's gone far with them. So, again, it's an exciting, player to bring in. Now, one of the hard things is that you have Victor Hedman on long-term injured reserve, but he is supposed to be coming back for the first game of the playoffs, so we will see him, I'm sure, be activated. When you're looking at that forward depth, I mean, how can you not talk about Lightning without talking about Kucherov? 130 points in 76 games. I mean, phenomenal production. He is the guy he has 130 points. The guy who comes in second has 88, and that's Jake Gensel. If you're a point per game player, you want them on your team. It just shows you how elite Kucherov is in this case. So and they're finding some underrated talent, right? I mean, Braden Point hasn't played. He's kind of having a down year this year, but like Gage Goncalves, half point per game player. I mean, Hagel's a point per game player. Anthony Cirelli does a phenomenal job defensively as a second line center. You get Yanni Gore, you sign that 6-year contract. You got him last year at the trade deadline. Of course, you have a Bjorkstrand. Like you pick up a Dominic James. I think he was a Chicago draft pick, I'm pretty sure. They let him go. He still puts up 15 points in 43 games. So as a 23-year-old, this is again veteran leadership. I'd say even, I mean, I would say at the center they don't look as good, but even 9 points, he has 6 goals in 22 games, like doing just fine. I mean, that's a 24 goal pace, basically 22 goal pace. Still 9 points, and he's still almost half point per game player. Just with them, I think that's improved numbers, I'm pretty sure, than the LA Kings. He's doing better with the LA Kings. Maybe it's a change. I think he's playing a lower role he's definitely playing a lower role in the Tampa Bay Lightning. And again, he's 40 years old. So he'll be 41 next month or two. So again, veteran leadership. I'm curious, depending on how far they go, who they bring back, right? Do they bring a Bjorkstrand back? Who's on the last year of his contract? That'd be like a really interesting one. Like, do you bring Corey Perry back, right? Like JJ Mosier, is going to be one that he's a UFA. Do you want to bring him back? Darren Radish, who is okay. This is the story that, this is the pro scouting is phenomenal for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Darren Radish as a UFA, undrafted, back in 2021, 2022 makes his NHL debut for 4 games, 0 points. Next season, 17 games, 3 points, 33 points, 37 points, and then he doubles his points per season, 70 points in 73 games. Where'd you find this right-handed defenseman that can put up almost a point per game, like out of nowhere? Which is just it's asinine. He's going to make so much money. He's 30 years old though. So is he how much money is he going to make? Do they want to bring back? And it's well, if you have a Hedman, does he get as much time? It's great pro scouting. Absolutely phenomenal. They're absolutely nailing it. So good on them. Then you also have, of course, goaltending. You have Vasilevsky. Conn Smythe winner, Stanley Cup winner, Vezina winner, genuinely one of the best goalies in the league. This guy has, he's saved. His goal save above expected is only 6, but he's putting in a workload. 58 games this season. They have a couple they're Brandon Halverson, and a guy you don't know. I don't know because he's a guy that I think he might have played. He played with the New York Rangers. I think he played for the where is it? There's one of the guys that played for Grand Valley State. Again, I went to Grand Valley State. That's why I think about it. But I think it's a different goal. I think it's their E-bug or something like that. But you have Connor Murphy, or Connor Geeky, Scott Sabrin, Pontus Holmberg looked good. He's out for the season though. But these are just some guys that you're like, how do you guys do this every year? You just find guys and it's impressive, and they keep moving all these picks out. And it's okay, well, what are you going to do with these picks? And so it's great value. They're still in their contention. I actually have them going, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about this right now. I have them winning the season or winning the series. I think it's going to be pretty tough. I think it's going to be 6 games is what I believe. Montreal will get a couple games. I think they're good goaltending. I think there's some youth that, the Bell Center is hard to win in. But I can see them closing it out and just really 6 games. I don't think it goes 7. I think it go 5, but I think it just depends on how much the youth can step up with the Montreal Canadiens. And so to me, this is going to be a very exciting series. I'm excited to watch the team, but it'll be, it's goaltending is going to be a huge factor. But again, you got to be able to score points, and there's some guys on both teams that can score points. So I'm going over some of the stats real quick as well, just to run through these. So power play, Montreal was 10th, Tampa Bay was 17th. So power plays, you're not going to rely on those too much because a lot of it goes away in the playoffs. Although penalty kill, Tampa was 3rd in the league, Montreal was 18th. So that is, even if you get a power play, Montreal's gonna have a hard time scoring on them. Plus Vasilevsky, right? Save percentage, Tampa Bay was 9th, Montreal was 16th. Montembeau's numbers really brought that down. Goals against, so Tampa Bay let the third least amount of goals in. Montreal was 16th, so Tampa just shutting those things down, not letting a lot of goals go through. Shots for, Tampa leads there. Shots against, Tampa also leads. Like, they're not letting a lot of shots go through either. And the biggest statistic that I like to emphasize is 5-on-5 goals, because it's how many are being scored on you. Like, are you able to convert on a 5-on-5 opportunity, and are you able to restrict those opportunities as well? So when it comes to Tampa Bay, they were 3rd, and they scored the 3rd most 5-on-5 goals, whereas Montreal was 7th, which is good, but Tampa Bay did more. So there's some competition there, but Tampa Bay leads in that category. And then letting in 5-on-5 goals, Tampa Bay let the 7th least in, and Montreal at the 14th. So not only is Tampa Bay scoring more 5-on-5 goals, they're also letting in less 5-on-5 goals, which means that, like, hey, again, you can't rely on the power play to score in the playoffs as much. Like, it just doesn't happen as often. They're less likely to call like a tripping or a cross-checking penalty. There's some that they have to, like a too many men or like an over the glass puck. But overall, you can't rely on a power play in this case, and Tampa doesn't. They just don't, which is, again, how you want to run a team. And so with Tampa Bay, again, I have them in 6 games. I think it's going to be a great series. But let me know what your thoughts are. Hit like, subscribe, put your comments down below on the YouTube, or if you're on Apple Podcasts or anything like that, let me know. Give a shout out, 5 stars. I'd appreciate it. Anyways, let me know what your thoughts are. Enjoy the games. Let me know how many games you got Tampa Bay winning in, or maybe you like Montreal. Let me know. Love you guys. See you next one.